Hey there. My name's Danny Liebrand, and I'm the founder of Pest Control SEO, where we help pest control companies grow with SEO. Today, I have Chris Brencans, who is a very successful CEO of a digital marketing agency. So, Chris is the CEO of On the Map Marketing, so onthemap.com, and they are a very successful agency doing $6 million a year currently, on track to do 7. And Chris is currently the CEO, so he's running everything, and he's actually been with them for over 10 years. So super expert. He was actually one of the first local search specialists for their agency. Super expert. So glad to have Chris on. And yeah, thanks for coming on, Chris.
Hey, Danny, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. So I want to jump back to when you first got with On the Map. So that was about 10 years ago. How did you find out about them? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? How did you initially
Yeah,
start with them?
I joined the agency as a website project manager. And the agency itself was started 15 years ago. And just a tiny correction for you, I wasn't the first local search marketing
Oh, okay.
expert here. The agency, I would say, was one of the first ones that started niching down only in local search, hence the name On the Map. So the whole idea was the founder, Rick Hoskins, started an agency that was placing attorneys in the map results, and that was 15 years ago. And the SERPs and the search engine result pages looked a lot different back then. You would literally just move the pin, and the rankings would appear. And that was the first product. And we've come very, very long way since then. But I don't know that many other agencies that were started 15 years ago with only specialization in local search.
Definitely. So you've been with them for 10 years. You started at web development, or what did you start at?
Yes, so I started as a website project manager, came in, brought in my business partner at that time, now our CTO. He's an amazing full stack front end, any engineering web element you can think of, Casper Smilberg. So him and I, we joined the company, we built out a web development department, and then I started dabbling with some other areas, which naturally became SEO.
Awesome. So take me back in like the 10 years that you've been with them, how has local search changed? Because you just said it's changed a lot. How exactly has it changed?
Well, at the beginning, obviously the 11 search results in the map rankings, I didn't even get to experience that. Uh, but when I started dabbling with SEO, um, that was the initial point when we still had 5 search placements in the map results, and then start going down to 3. Uh, Biggest change I would say is the decrease of organic rankings. The organic rankings used to play a big factor. Now organic rankings are still valuable, but not nearly as valuable as they used to be. The other evolutionary aspect is that you can't just focus on SEO anymore. If you want to win in local search marketing, you have to do LSA ads, PPC ads, directories, and that depends heavily also on the vertical you're in. But in those lower search volume verticals where the return on the leads are super high, for instance, like personal injury, clicks can be $200-300. So you owning every possible click is crucial, because that's gonna sum up and generate that business you're waiting for. So that's probably the biggest thing, not even getting into the AI. I
Yeah.
think that conversation is still a little bit premature because we don't know what's going to happen. The whole AI overview, uh, I haven't seen too much of it yet in local, but that's probably a conversation to have a year from now, and then we can really look back to that. But yeah, uh, the decrease of organics and necessity to focus on full local search marketing strategy. Now, kind of the next element that's coming in is just brand recognition. Even a year ago, that wasn't, maybe a year and a half ago, it wasn't that big of a factor. Now, the brand presence in real life is crucial. You're not going to get rankings. Looking at DRs and comparing that, that's out of the window. That doesn't work anymore. You really need to see you need to compare brand to brand, and then that's going to give you assessment of how well you can rank and compete in uber competitive SERPs.
Definitely. So you said organic search is going down. There's LSAs, there's Google Ads, and there's different kinds of Google Ads. What ads do you think every single business should be running?
Well, it depends. If you can serve LSA ads, totally jump into that. Of course, depends on your intake systems because that plays a heavy factor. Servicing those people, answering quickly, sending feedback back to Google. But overall, to me, it's a question of budgets. If you have $2,000 that you can play with, if that's enough to generate LSA ads, dump it in that. If it's not enough, I would look to directories and figure out which directory is ranking the best for your highest transactional query. Let's say it's pest control Seattle. If I see now I'm thinking pest control directories, possibly Angie's or one of those. I mean, there's each directory has its pros and cons. But like for instance, Yelp still being in the top result is going to drive traffic back to you, and you could be generating leads through that too. It's not going to be black and white. Hey, I just drop some money in that account and I'm going to be generating money, but it's a process. Like all advertising efforts have to be tested, and then you refine them, then you optimize them until you figure out that ROI that you can possibly generate from whichever channel you're investing in.
Definitely.
And PPC too, I think in pest control, pest control clicks are not as expensive. You just need to be able to test them enough to optimize those campaigns to be profitable for you.
Definitely. So you guys run a super successful agency. You guys have tons of clients, doing great numbers, getting great results. Do you guys personally use any of the directory advertising, like you're saying, maybe Yelp, maybe Angie?
You mean for ourselves or for our clients?
Yeah, yeah. So for your clients.
For our clients, we are, yeah, we do utilize them. For two factors, honestly, high quality directories are great for your SEO too, especially now Google's looking at those high authority, real true resources and citations. Where is this business located? So we play around with directories quite a bit, depending on the client, especially in the legal space. Those directories can be pretty crucial to gain some quick exposure for the clients. And some clients just want to maximize their exposure for that one search query. It could be, I don't know, personal injury lawyer Miami. They're going to be there in the maps, they're in organics, and they're going to be in a directory. So now when the consumer is trying to make a decision, and they're going to be in ads too. So now you're quadruple serving yourself in a SERP, and the prospect clearly knows, okay, uh, this law firm appears in all these results, they must know what they're doing. It's
Mm,
the multi-exposure effect in advertising plays and assists you in those conversions. And if you're billboard somewhere out there and they heard you on radio and now that exposure just completely plays on their brain that that person is going to win, and that's what that's kind of the famous saying. Uh, Person who wins in marketing is the one who can spend the most. So if
mm,
you can optimize your costs and win across all those touch points, um, you'll come out getting that
definitely.
lead.
Yeah, I believe in that too. Definitely just getting as many touches as possible. Like ideally, we're on every single platform and showing up in every single way that we can on Google. If we are the top ranking website and then we're the top ranking Google business profile, and then, maybe we're paying for the Yelp placement, and then, we have like a local service ad. The more times people are seeing you, especially in like a high conversion state, I've seen that to be great performing. People trust it more, right?
Yeah, and let's add another layer to that, which is not so much the transactional layer as it is the brand exposure layer. Perhaps you're running radio ads or you appear on local radio shows. That adds another multi-touch factor. Oh yeah, this pest control company always is on this funny radio show. People still listen to radio. People still watch TV. Even with OTT, I can't speak on that much, but our clients advertise on regular TV ads and their own radio and their own billboard. That might not drive that immediate transaction, but it does drive up their brand search queries. And then SEO becomes a lot easier when the brand is recognized in real life. Google's looking more at those signals rather than some shady guest post links that you've gotten from from your SEO agency. So that whole mindset is a complete shift that's happening right now, and we're heavily investing in that local outreach, also setting our clients up with local sponsorship opportunities because they're not going to go out there uh, trying to find those possible organizations to donate. I mean, if they have someone in house, great, but we're shifting our link building efforts to building mega lists of local organizations to invest in. And now, we're not paying some PBN site owner. We're actually paying organizations that can benefit from that money. And they get exposure, they get kind of good karma in a way. Then they get opportunities to participate in local events. And it creates this engine of local outreach, engagement in local communities. And that reciprocates with Google's algorithm seeing that you're actually known in real local uh, audiences.
Okay, awesome. I actually love this. I find this super interesting, especially because a lot of people are just trying to buy backlinks from, high DR sites and, maybe it has trust flow. But I think you can agree that with these local businesses, we want to be building local links. So if we can get a link from the local church and then, maybe the local baseball team or, all these different sponsorships that are local, then those are super powerful links. So I was thinking about implementing that in my agency as well of, doing the outreach for the clients. Because of course I recommend it. Like you should be sponsoring, all the local teams and, be getting engaged and, talking to these other local business owners. But what specifically are you guys doing for clients? How are you doing the outreach? Who are you specifically reaching out to? Tell me all about it.
It's a combination. We just pick a location and we look at all possible organizations. Depends on our client type. If it's a honestly legal, then we look at are they focused more on med mal or car accidents or workers comp. Then we slice those categories. You use search operators. Today I was just playing around with searches myself. Um, Chicago uh, Car Association, and you just go down a rabbit hole. And now the actual cool angle that we want to tie in, and we're running some of the tests on this, we're looking for local social media influencers. So aligning that organization with accounts that have the biggest social exposure, and then building collaboration with those type of accounts, getting links from their websites, and interestingly, different types of zoos come up. Humane societies not so much, but like figuring out which organization have the biggest audience, then engaging with them. So now SEO becomes not so much just technical SEO as it's content creation, social media engagement, and PR. So it's like this multifaceted service, but Google's algorithm kind of dictates what we're going to be, how they rank the sites. And honestly, as much as this algorithm has been abused, it makes sense that now Google's just saying, you know what, you need to be a real brand to be in the SERPs,
Uh-huh.
and that's how you win. Kind of gave you a long answer on it, but
No, that's what I wanted. Yeah, so
yeah.
I completely agree. I think of myself as like the SEO guy, but more and more that I've been diving into SEO, I'm realizing that SEO is everything. SEO
Hmm.
is the social media posts that you're doing, SEO is the Google ads that you're running, and then obviously the basic stuff like Google Business Profile and your website. So SEO is really a combination of everything. Again, like the brand building you were talking about. So
Yeah.
what I wanted to dive in specifically on what you were saying, is how can, like, let's say, local business owners watching this, or maybe a local marketer that wants to do this for a client, how can you find local influencers? I feel like that'd be pretty tough.
Local influencers? I mean, not really. I'll tell you right now what was the tool I was using today. Just give me a second. Um, it's, I mean, it's the same as you would use any, when you look for social media influencers, there's a bunch of tools to use. So the tool I was using is modash.io, and literally just type in the city. And the key factor I'm looking at is I want to make sure that the audience is like their follower audience is in that location,
Mm,
because I don't really care if I'm in Nashville about people in Miami. I just want to target people in Nashville. So if I can find a local influencer in Nashville that has a big social media following in Nashville, now if I can build a relationship with them and have an ongoing exposure of my client there, now I'm gaining local searches from local people in Nashville. And then you just keep going. It's not an overnight thing or strategy, but I think if you invest properly in it over time, over several years, you will build a big brand recognition locally. We have a client here in Miami. They did that in targeting just Spanish audiences. And that was really interesting because they were appearing in a lot of Spanish TV shows, radio shows, ads. Looks like my internet just went out.
you're good. You're good. We're back. I
All
can just
right.
cut that little part in between. So what I wanted to ask you is, so you guys have a lot of clients, and it seems like you guys are also you are pretty involved with your clients' businesses. It seems like a pretty custom solution. So, as an agency owner
Mm-hmm.
myself, I'm wondering how custom is your solution and service for your clients? Because I feel like a lot of agencies just try to do, the checklist model, and it's like, okay, we're going to do this, this, and that for you. But it seems like you guys are more involved with your clients and are doing really what's best for them. So can you tell me more about like what the services you guys provide and how custom it is?
Yeah. We provide SEO, obviously, PPC, web development, depending on their campaign needs and budgets. Then we build out, the offering. For search, for SEO, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's getting now a little bit more segmented, but we have internally we use like a calculator. We call it deliverable calculator, and that's how we also sell our services. Say you pay $5,000 a month, you'll get either 10 link placements or let's say 20,000 words of content. So let's say you don't need that much content, then it's like 10,000 words of content and 5 placements. So it's like a band model. And now what's coming into this band model is social media posts, video production. So now our SEO offering becomes a lot more holistic based on these new factors that are becoming highly important to build the brand recognition.
Mm,
For, as far as like PPC and social media ads, that's pretty standard, like everyone 10% or $1,000 or 10%, whichever is greater budget wise. I think important elements to mention is we have a really big and very dedicated account management team. So all our clients have assigned account manager. That account manager then works with an SEO manager. So everyone goes into this hub model where we're pretty much their outsourced marketing team. And really, we try to build this idea for our clients that their assigned account manager is almost like their fractional CMO that understands each marketing channel, and they're able to jump in and help them figure out their marketing goals and problems and ideas.
awesome. I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the most common misconception in the local SEO and local marketing game right now? What is everyone kind of getting wrong?
I think the link building right now is becoming. I think there's so many people spinning the wheels with link building, and it's just not. It's just not going to work anymore. Like, not. I'm not saying links are not working, I think the types of links being built is becoming obsolete. Even the high quality guest post sites that we all know are not real blogs. We know someone owns them and uses them for this purpose of selling the links. I think that's becoming obsolete, and we're completely shifting away from that and just doing pure outreach to sites that's gonna benefit somehow our client.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I would say I agree. I think most links people are building are not quality and they're also not real. Like maybe you paid for them and it's just, a paid link site where Google is like really starting to understand all of these different aspects of like who actually is your website? Oh, it's just people
Mm-hmm.
paid to get spots and it just has been high DR because it was built 20 years ago and just consistent content, whatever,
Yep.
maybe they got a few big links. So I would agree with you there 100%. And making an emphasis on building connections instead of links because also it's
Mm-hmm.
not just about links, it's about getting mentions too, right? So if people are like mentioning your business on social media posts like with the influencer thing, or maybe they're mentioning it in a YouTube video or another channel, those are all also super powerful too. But like
Yeah.
establishing those clear and real signals to Google versus like, oh, we just got 5 new links from like DR50 sites so we're good. I don't think that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, and when you and I we spoke first, and I think you made a post about this too, like the knowledge panels, like it goes all back to the real sources about you as a brand, people behind the brand. Do you guys really exist, or this brand is just sort of gaming the system to get the rankings? And now those sites will start seeing decrease. Those strategies still work, but what's going to happen is you're going to be now on page 2, page 3 versus being on page 1. And why I'm saying that is because I've seen it with some of our legacy clients that's had a lot of those links, and we're like, whoa, what happened? Well, we have to shift our strategy. We have to be present in local communities. We need to get highest media publication news site mentions about us to build that trust factor. Oh,
Yeah.
this plumber doesn't have social media presence. Well, that's a surprise, right? So now we need to shift into different activities that are being looked at. And again, this is not kind of speculative. We just look at our competitors and we see them being active on social media, and we're the only ones who are not. And we also know what kind of link building tactics we're doing, and it's like, all right, like it's kind of writings on a wall. Like you gotta you gotta evolve your SEO strategies to match what Google is now looking for to rank you,
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
social activity, brand recognition, which is brand search queries, and holistic link building, which is local sponsorships, doubling down on all possible citations, and then getting in some of those bigger publications. Few of those will go a long way.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Also, before we end, I wanted to make sure that I asked this question. Something we were talking about earlier, and I'm so curious what your thoughts are on this, is what do you think is the future of like local search in the next year or so? I know you're talking about the AI overview a little bit, hasn't
Yeah,
totally taken over local, but what do you think the next year is going to look like?
it's a tough question. I'm curious, how are they gonna switch up the map results? Because right now, even the few examples that have surfaced, one AI overview was with like double map results, where the map was included. Remember when they rolled out the first AI results, the generative AI results? Then the
Yeah.
map was in the generative, then the map was under. So I'm curious what's going to happen with those. I've seen some new ad formats where it's just like a thumbnail ads. That might become a new format of like integration in AI overview. Hard to say. Google still will try to maximize their profits, so it might be integration with LSA ads and maps. Who knows? But what I can say is and it's been a big conversational topic today. The brand building factor will not go away. It will just become even more necessary and crucial. Social media feeds might get pulled in, as Google's already showing your social media followers in Google business profiles. So that's starting to get integrated a lot more and more. So really, this idea of thinking about link building more as like your brand search query building, like that's going to be the real game. How can I build my brand recognition? And then Google's going to be rewarding you. How are they going to display you? I don't know. That's there's a lot of people smarter than me that do a lot of speculation on that, and they follow the SERPs. I'm not one of them, but what I do see is the ranking factors will be heavily focused on just strong brands that are well known and that are, at least in local space, known in the local communities.
I agree 100%. And yeah, socials is definitely huge. That's something I've been doing the past few months for clients now is we are posting across every single social channel and most
Mm-hmm.
importantly YouTube because when you
Yep,
almost
there you
any
go.
single Google search, you'll see YouTube on there. So if we
Mm-hmm.
can even just be publishing a weekly video for a client that is like 1 to 2 minutes long, that's still incredibly powerful if no one else has made a video on that. So I really like making geo modified videos where it's not just,
Mm-hmm.
how much does pest control cost? I'm sure there's a video with like 100,000 views, but now we
Right.
can dominate the one where it's like, how much does pest control cost in Hillsboro? And
Yep,
then we can
exactly.
completely dominate that one. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where search is going, where Google is more so it's not like the 10 blue links anymore and then you get to choose. They want to provide the best answer possible, and that's
Yep.
usually one answer. So if
Mm-hmm.
we can dominate those tiny individual searches and keywords, I think that is where we can really take over.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like the SERPs become multi-dimensional. There's FAQs, there's suggested questions, and what's happening with the AI overviews, people are saying it's more a conversational search engine rather than just a search query and a result. Now it's a conversation. Oh, you looked for this question, how much it costs in Hillsboro? Well, here's a video, and then what does the installation look like? So it becomes this whole dialogue almost with the AI, and then you come to the search result you're looking for. And you're totally right. The video is huge. You know, the shorts, the TikTok, the full videos, and then doing long form content and tying those videos in. Now you're hitting it on all these dimensions, and that's what Google wants you to provide the best possible information for that search query
Definitely.
and make money
Yeah.
in between.
And just to be clear, they're not AI videos. I know there's some people that are like AI enthusiasts and everything's AI
Oh,
blogs and AI socials. No AI videos. Do real videos, whether it's like a podcast like this, or
yeah.
maybe it's a video in the field, or whatever might be your specialty. But make real videos and make real content. So
Yep,
yeah.
agreed.
Last thing I want to ask you before I believe we run out of time. We got about 3 minutes. Last thing I wanted to ask you is you guys are on the map. That's literally your business name. How
Yeah.
can a local business get on the map and get customers from, Google Business Profile?
Yeah. Well, couple things. Make sure your profile is optimized correctly. Well, let's start with the fact that you need to have a profile, but I think your listeners are past that. Definitely set up your right categories. That's a big one. Um, Reviews, real reviews, volume, consistency doesn't just help getting reviews 1 week and then they disappear. Engage with the reviews. Great photos. Think about your Google business profile as like your business card. When people land on it, showcase in pest control case, showcase your man, showcase your staff, showcase your location. Build that trust with people because when you rank in Google map results, people don't even go to your website. 50-70% of time they just call you right away. They read your reviews, they look at you, okay, this this brand looks legitimate, and they hire you. And then if you want to get a little bit tricky, you can do some crazy DBAs, doing business ads. Not crazy, creative. Maybe it's Danny Limbart, Seattle Pest Control, something like that. Those go a long way, and everyone. I think there's a lot of studies showing that including keywords, your top keywords in your brand name, does help. You just have to do it the right way. You can't just change your brand name and roll with it. It has to show in all your citations, all those factors, and yeah. And the last point would be just make sure you're in all top citations. So when Google runs their index on you, they know you you really exist and you are in all proper business directories and your relevant vertical directories, and your brand, again, the brand exists, you have good reviews, profile is legitimate, and if you want to get a little creative, do the DBA.
Mm.
But
Definitely, man. I
that
love
depends
that. That
also
was
how
that was super
competitive.
actionable. So any local business owner, make sure you are doing all of those things. And I know there's like a lot of kind of extra 1% things, like I don't know, maybe doing the FAQs or the services, but make sure you have all the basics down, like actually getting real reviews, maybe putting a keyword in your business name, make sure you have the right category, all those great things.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
And,
Um,
and the extra one would be now the prominence, right? The prominence is one of the signals, and that's going to come from the social media presence. There's a personal injury attorney here in Miami that's going on streets and just interviewing people and asking them, like, what do you think this accident settlement would be? And he's built like 15,000 followers, and now he's ranking in maps. And we're like, this his website sucks. He has no DR, but has a lot of reviews, and Google knows he exists because he has brand search queries, and they reward him. And same thing we saw with our client that targets a lot of the Spanish-speaking community. So,
yeah.
but
No, that's
that's a
crazy. Yeah, I
longer,
think I
longer,
think we need to.
longer type of play.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think really the consensus here is that SEO is not just about ranking your website. It's about all of the other ways to show up on digital. So yeah,
Yep.
love it, man. Got a ton of value from you in this short podcast. I know you have to go, but is there anything else you'd like to mention or leave off?
No, I think we hit on all the main points. It's brand building, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of value points we already hit on, so I think it's all covered.
Awesome. Where can people find you on social media?
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so you can just find me on LinkedIn, Chris Brencans, or just drop a form if you have some question on our website, onthemap.com.
Awesome. So I'll plug your LinkedIn, your agency website, anything else you'd like me to plug?
No, that's good. Well, should suffice.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, so glad to have you here. Thank you for your time. And yeah, man, hope you have a good one.
All right, thanks, Danny.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming.